Hi everybody. It's been a little bit since I last uploaded, but I've still been chipping away on the CubeWorld project, so I think I've got some stuff worth sharing for you. So in the last video I kind of got a base layer to build off of and finished most of the graphics implementations, but the game itself didn't really have much to it. It wasn't very interesting. So as you can see from the video here, my solution to this was to implement some AI agents. And these AI agents not only interact with the player, but with the world itself. I kind of found the environment editing aspect to be one of the more interesting in this game. So when I was designing my AI agents, I wanted them to be capable of this in some way. So right now, each agent just consists of a default pathing behavior, and some combat behavior when the player attacks it. The current state, as you can see, is pretty simple, but I see a lot of potential with this idea. And I think that a larger world and more complex AI, which I have plans for in the future, could make for a pretty interesting game. So you can see here, this is the path placer. It's actually the first AI agent I created, and definitely the simplest. Its behavior basically just consists of choosing directions at random and moving a random distance towards that direction. Pretty simple to implement, but I think its behavior kind of adds a depth to the world that isn't really reached so much by the other agents. Yeah, and when you hit this one, it'll increase its speed and move directly away from you. The brick builder is pretty similar to the path placer in how it's choosing a random direction and moving towards that direction, but instead of just pathing towards that direction, it's building a 3-high wall in it. It also can't pathfind vertically like the path placer can, but instead keeps the base of the wall locked to the ground. When you hit this one, you'll see that it just pathfinds directly away from you until it reaches an escape distance, and then continues its behavior. The ground grower. This is probably one of my favorites, if not my favorite of the 4 types, and is definitely the most essential to kind of creating the environment. A given instance of the game will start up with 4 of these, one for each direction: positive X, positive Z, negative Z. And you'll see them pathfinding in strips to create the ground below you. Their selected elevation is based on a Perlin noise map and allows each startup of the game to be a little bit different from each other, kind of making an interesting behavior. And in order to sort of keep up with one another and keep their pathing, they ignore attacks from players, but they actually have a higher health pool to account for this. So this is the final agent. I call it the block breaker, which, unlike the previous types, does not leave a trail behind it, and instead just sort of tears the environment down. You can see in longer runs of this game that it definitely has a large impact, and you'll see big holes in the map, which I kind of find interesting. What it's basically doing is just looking for the nearest block to it, and it moves towards that block and removes it. What I find kind of most interesting about this agent, though, is how it responds to player attacks. It basically is charging the player when you attack it and trying to break the block below their feet. In practice, this doesn't always end up working, but I kind of liked the idea of having an agent try to use the environment against the player rather than just building stuff. Well, I think that's just about everything for this update. I definitely forgot some stuff, so feel free, if you have any questions, go into the comments. I've linked to my GitHub for this project in the bio, where you can see the code and definitely ask any questions there, post issues, do whatever you want. Well, thank you for listening. There will be more updates in the future.